Hi folks, welcome back to week 16 NFL picks here on the VegasDon channel. Last week we went 11-5. We went 4-0 before we headed into Sunday, and Sunday really demolished me, especially the early games. Some picks there that just didn't make any sense whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and march on. We're at 62% for the season, picking straight up, not against the spread, because this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's jump right in. Tonight's game features the Saints of New Orleans flying into Los Angeles to take on the Rams of Los Angeles. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites in this one. Total over under 45.5. I like the Rams at home, and both teams are 7-7. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Rams at home. I think they'll be able to prevail. Had this been in New Orleans, it might have been a different story. And then Saturday brings us two games on the eve of Christmas Eve. You've got the Kittens of Cincinnati traveling into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers of Pittsburgh. The over-under on this one's 37.5. They're not expecting a lot of scoring in this, a defensive battle. And then you've got Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 in this one. I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is going to be able to prevail over Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. I might end up hating myself for that one, but I do like Cincy on the road, and I do think they'll cover, probably by a field goal, given what they're expecting for an over-under there. And then the nightcap on Saturday brings us the Bills of Buffalo traveling into Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles electrifying Chargers. Chargers are 12.5-point underdogs in this one. No Justin Herbert, so over under about 43.5. Definitely have to take the Bills in this one. I wouldn't mind being wrong, especially as a Dolphins fan, but there's no way that a Justin Herbert-less LA Chargers team is going to be able to have a chance against the Bills. So yeah, we're going to take the Bills for that one. And then Sunday's games bring us Christmas Eve games. The early slate brings us the Colts of Indianapolis traveling into Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are favored by 2.5 in this one. I see no reason that the Falcons should lose this one. Over under in this one is 44.5. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Falcons at home. The Seahawks of Seattle fly into Tennessee to take on the Titans, the mighty Titans. Seattle's favored by 3 in this one, over under 41.5. I like Seattle in this one. They had a huge game last Monday night against Philly, and so I like Seattle's chances here, and I'm going to go ahead and pick them over Tennessee in Tennessee. I think that they'll be able to do what they did to Philly there in Tennessee. So then we have Detroit. The Kittens of Detroit traveling into Minneapolis to take on the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings are a 3-point home underdog in this one, over under 47.5. I like the Kittens of Detroit in this one. I don't think that Minnesota will be able to do much of anything, to be honest. They're 7-7. On the season, and of course Detroit's 10-4. I like Detroit in this one. We're going to go next to the Washingtons at the Fast Airplanes of New York. The Fast Airplanes are 3-point favorites in this one over the Washingtons. Total over under 37.5. I like New York at home. Had this been in Washington, I'll probably go with Washington, but I'm going to go ahead and go with New York on this one. Go with the Fast Airplanes. And then the GBs of Green Bay tackle the Charlotte area and the Carolina Panthers, the Little Kittens of Carolina. Carolina has a 5-point home underdog. A lot of those this week. Over under 37.5. I like the GBs on the road, especially against a Carolina team that did have a surprise game last week against Atlanta, and I missed out on that one too. But I do like the GBs on the road here. I think they'll be able to pull back up to 7-8 at this point. And then we have the Brownies of Cleveland, taking on the Texans of Houston. They're in Houston. Brownies are 2.5-point favorites in this one, over under 40.5. I do like the Browns in this one. No Tank Dell for Houston, so I think they don't have a whole lot in the tank remaining as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Cleveland on this one. And then the late games, Jacksonville at Tampa Bay. This is actually a surprisingly competitive game for this late in the season, especially. We've got, usually this is a preseason matchup. Excuse me, Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers are favored by 2.5 in this one, over under 41.5. I like Tampa Bay. Jacksonville did not impress me at all against the Ravens last Sunday, so I'm definitely going to take Tampa Bay on this one. Arizona at Chicago. This is a toughie. Chicago's favored by 4.5 and over under 43.5. I'm going to go ahead and go with the home team here. Maybe Justin Fields will have a breakout day and maybe convince Chicago that he needs another year to prove himself or give him some tools to prove himself or whatever the deal is. But I do like Chicago in this one. 43.5 on the over-under seems a little high to me, but maybe they're expecting some scoring in this one without much defense. And then we have Dallas, the Cowboys of Dallas, traveling into Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 1 point in this one, over under 49.5. So they're expecting a little bit of scoring at least. This is looking like a 25-24 type of score. It looks like that's what they're predicting. I like Miami at home. I'm going to go ahead and go with my team. I think that they're going to be able to prevail finally over a good team, a team with a winning record, and defeat Dallas. And then the nightcap on Sunday brings us the Patriots of New England flying into Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos favored by 7 in this one. Over-under of 34.5. That is a fat line for such a low over-under. I like Denver at home. Definitely going to go with Denver. I don't think they'll cover that, but that's me. And I think that Denver has a better shot of just doing about 3 points at home than being able to put up 7. And then Monday, the Christmas Day games, we got a triple header. We have the Raiders of Las Vegas traveling into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes and crew are 10-point favorites here at home. The Raiders, let's see, the over-under is 40.5 in this one. I like the Chiefs at home. Definitely going to take the Chiefs at home. There's no reason for me to think that the Raiders would have a shot in this one. Raiders will fall to 6-9 on the year in this one. And then the Giants of New York, the Biggies, going into Philadelphia to take on the Eagles, the once high-flying Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. They're on a little bit of a losing skid here. Eagles are favored by 13.5 in this one, over under 42.5. I like the Eagles at home. I think they'll be able to cover, whether they cover 13.5, 2 touchdowns. That's going to be a bit of a stretch, but I'm gonna definitely take Philly at home here. And then Baltimore at San Francisco. This is a doozy. And Baltimore, I read, is feeling disrespected because they're an underdog in this one. They're an underdog by 5 points. San Fran's favored by 5 points in this one, over under 46.5. I like San Fran in this one. I think that San Fran will be able to prevail. Baltimore has that tough defense, but I think that Baltimore won't be able to survive the Bay Area and those fans out there, those rabid fans in San Francisco. Thanks for joining again, everyone, and we'll see you again next week.